there's a clear disconnect, right? So you've got a number of new startups that are coming through with new banking relationships that have appetite for it, and they're going great guns.
Short and sweet question: crypto and FX. Can we ever see them ever working alongside each other?
Not for a while. Not for a while. I mean, you know, the risk appetite of the bigger incumbent banks towards, you know, an asset class that, frankly, they don't understand well enough. There's a clear disconnect, right? So you've got a number of new startups that are coming through with new banking relationships that have appetite for it, and they're going great guns. But where the two will converge over time, I genuinely don't know. But I'm a bit of a Luddite when it comes to that. I never saw a day where I would go and buy my newspaper with a bit of a Bitcoin. And, you know, then you've got the other side of that, which is the adoption. How many shops are going to accept Bitcoin payment? Now, again, Bitcoin obviously is the brand name there that everybody recognizes when crypto's in conversation. But, you know, there is definitely a place for it already. You know, the transfer of value through the blockchain, Ripple are doing this very well. You know, and that just brings in an extra leg. Instead of Swift, you go sterling, crypto, BRL, and a local payment, all, you know, pretty much real time. That's very exciting. But the provenance of the coin is what the banks are all concerned about. You know, go back in the archives, you've got Mt. Gox, and all the early adopters were unsavory because, untraceable, brilliant, I'm in with my gun money or my drug money or whatever.
Basically, everything compliance says, no, we can't work with that. Exactly. There you go.
Exactly. But, you know, I even heard a story where it got to a point that if you send me a Bitcoin, I'd pay you for it, of course, but and then I convert that to sterling and try and pay it out, they're worried not that I had the Bitcoin correct. It's like, well, what happened to it who are you? And who did you buy it off?
Fine.
And it's like, you know.
So though it's not regulated, they still ask those questions. Where's it coming from? What's this for? And it's
not even that they ask the questions. That's the concern that they haven't got the control parameters set up for yet. And so if I don't know, I'm not going to do it, which is very prudent compliant.
And this is where everyone's now in trouble because they've all bought their cryptos and then they're going to go sell it back and go back to market and.
Yeah, for the market who's bought crypto, like, you know, as a store of value or an investment or what have you, regardless of where the market is at the moment, but that's unaffected. Other than, and again, I'm sure a lot of crypto people out there will have had experience either directly or indirectly where my exchange or my platform can't accept money or can't pay out at the moment. And it's because whoever was ultimately banking them has had a change of, you know, policy, risk appetite, or their bank said actually no more crypto going through my account, and they've had to pivot and go and find a new partner that would service them. But you know, so if you had a Bitcoin, don't worry, you can still sell that on an exchange and get your sterling back from it, but it won't be through any of the banking relationships that, you know, that we're very well versed in the FX market.
And I guess subject to their fees of the other suppliers you're using and everything as well, right?
Yeah, but again, like that, as I understand it, that's one of the efficiencies. The lower transactional, you know, charges applied to crypto is again evolving, and you know, all the new age kids thinking, that's why it's the end of fiat, because it's so much more efficient. But yeah, you know, it's still very early for me, still very much in proof of concept. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I don't know how long it's going to take for it to really have a strong chunk of the fiat transactional. And you've only got to look at, you know, Ukraine and Russia. You know, when they were frozen from SWIFT, there's the blockchain to transfer value. So yeah, you know, ultimately the decentralized currency play that all the geeks used to down with the big man. It's like, well, you kind of didn't see it working like that, did you?
But it's interesting how the regulators have gone into it, because they're now saying that rather than sort of regulating the crypto as a whole, they're saying that for the big accounts, the big providers of the apps and the online accounts, they're saying, okay, but you have to have the identity, the identity checks, the proof of ID and stuff like that for the actual account. You can still get wallets which are not attached to any account, but if you want to use those big brands that are trusted that can do all the transactions, you have to have your ID allocated to it. So it's their sort of way of kind of
news to me. I
sticking.
don't know enough about the actual transactional experience, but
Yeah.
I would just assume there's KYC against anybody. I wouldn't expect to be able to buy a Bitcoin without somebody knowing who I was.
Yeah, you'd expect so, yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. It'll be very interesting to see where things are in 5 years' time with all.
Yeah, I just want to see where it develops to. You know, will the industries kind of merge together? You know, will all the FX firms jump on crypto as like another option for payment? You know, like.
Well, HMRC have also come out and said that any gains from crypto are now eligible for capital gains tax, but you have to actually go and declare.
Well, it's because they've now given out debit cards and things, so you can physically spend it now, can't you? You know,
Yeah, it's a little bit more traceable, but yeah.